The sun dipped low over the small town of Maplewood, its golden rays spilling across the streets like liquid fire. The air was alive with the hum of motorcycles as a group of bikers roared through town. Their jackets bore the emblem of Steel Hearts, a local motorcycle club known more for their rough edges than their softer side. But tonight, something extraordinary was about to unfold that would change how the town viewed them forever. For weeks, the bikers had quietly planned their mission, fueled by whispers of a struggling community charity, Hope Haven. The charity had been a cornerstone of Maplewood for decades, offering shelter, meals and resources to people in need. But as the economy tightened, so did donations. The staff, led by a resilient but weary woman named Clara Mason, had been scrambling to keep the doors open. Clara was the heart of Hope Haven, a middle-aged woman with silver streaks in her dark hair and a voice like warm honey. She often worked late into the night, trying to stretch every dollar to cover the mounting costs. What Clara didn't know was that her determination had caught the attention of Jack Taylor, the leader of Steel Hearts. Jack wasn't your typical biker. Beneath his leather jacket and intimidating frame lay a heart as big as the open road. During a ride through town, Jack had overheard Clara's passionate plea for help at a local diner. She was speaking to a friend about how they were at risk of closing before Christmas. The thought of families left out in the cold gnawed at him. It brought back memories of his own tough childhood, when a place like Hope Haven had been his lifeline. Jack rallied the Steel Hearts with a bold idea. They'd surprise Clara and the charity with something they would never expect. The bikers pooled their resources, a mix of personal savings, club funds, and even money raised from local biker events. But Jack knew that wasn't enough. He wanted the whole town to get involved. Over the next few weeks, the bikers spread the word at bars, diners, and even church socials. They framed it as a secret mission called Project Hope Ride. The day of the surprise arrived, crisp and clear. The Steel Hearts gathered in their clubhouse, surrounded by bags of donated goods from canned food to winter coats. They had even managed to get a local band to volunteer for a fundraising concert. But the real showstopper was a check, a staggering sum that had grown far beyond Jack's expectations, thanks to contributions from the town's residents. Jack tucked the check into his jacket pocket as the group mounted their bikes. The air buzzed with anticipation as they rumbled toward Hope Haven. Clara was in the middle of preparing dinner for the shelter's guests when the roar of engines filled the air. Startled, she stepped outside, wiping her hands on her apron. Her eyes widened as she saw the convoy of bikers pulling into the parking lot. Townsfolk began to gather, drawn by the noise and the sight of the Steel Hearts unloading their haul. Jack approached Clara, extending the check with a grin. "This," he said, his voice gruff with emotion, "is from all of us." Tears filled Clara's eyes as she took the check, her hands trembling. The amount was enough to keep Hope Haven running for another year, and then some. The crowd erupted into cheers and applause as Clara embraced Jack. "You have no idea what this means," she whispered, her voice breaking. Jack nodded, simply replying, "We take care of our own." The night turned into a celebration as the band played and people danced under the stars. Volunteers joined the bikers to unload the goods while children from the shelter ran around laughing. For one magical evening, the lines between tough exteriors and tender hearts blurred into something beautiful. The Steel Hearts weren't just bikers anymore, they were heroes. The weeks that followed news of the surprise spread like wildfire. Local newspapers ran stories about the Steel Hearts and their unexpected generosity. Clara found herself flooded with new volunteers and donations, inspired by the bikers' example. Hope Haven not only survived, but thrived, becoming a symbol of what a community could achieve when it came together. For Jack and the Steel Hearts, it was never about recognition. They returned to their rides and their routines, but something had shifted. Whenever they passed through Maplewood, they were greeted with waves and smiles instead of wary looks. And though Jack would never admit it, He carried a photo in his wallet, a snapshot from that unforgettable night of Clara, hugging him with the words, "Thank you," scrawled on the back dot. In a world often divided by differences, the bikers and the town of Maplewood had found a common ground, a reminder that compassion could bridge any gap and that sometimes the most unlikely heroes are the ones riding on two wheels.